we have the largest human with us ever on this show, Mr. Jake Ballard, former Ohio State tight end, New York Giants, Cardinals, 97.1 radio personality, real estate guy.
Real estate guy.
Hunter. How many hats do you have, man?
I don't know, but I also started a pool company. So we'll talk about that a little bit if you want to. So
cool.
Wear a lot of hats, especially in real estate game too. Managing emotions, therapist, accountant, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Especially in today's climate too.
There's just, I've been in situations with clients going through divorces, so then I'm like, I can't even get them in the same room. I'll have to call both of them and then merge their calls together. It's funny. I have a ton of stories anyway, but not different podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's on the real estate local podcast.
Bigger Pockets Scott podcast. Yeah.
But I'm glad you were able to come in, man. It's always better to have people in the studio. And
for sure.
We got the video aspect going on right now, so that's awesome. And I know we were trying to work this out. Schlegel, shout out to Schlegs. We were just making fun of you before we started recording. But, for connecting us, it was funny. I've been a Ohio State fan since I basically was born. And Schlegs, after he came on, I was like, hey, man, I really want to make Vance the place for Ohio State guys to come on. We've had Cardell, we've had Zach, Schlegel. We're going to meet up with some of the guys tomorrow at the store too. And he was the same time he texted Cardell. He's like, okay, here's Jake. He's like, hey, Jake, this is Jordan. Hey, Cardell, this is Jordan. Hey, Zach, this is Jordan. These are all guys I grew up and around the same age as me that were like, this is freaking awesome, man. So as a lifelong fan, it was really cool to get you on. So
I want to pass it up.
Oh, yeah.
Excited.
And he's a great customer, dude. So that's awesome, too. So Jake.
I like to buy guns.
He has more than I thought he did, too. We were walking around the warehouse there. He's like, oh, yeah, I got this. I got that. I'm like, heck yeah, man. That's awesome.
I haven't bought any in a while. I need to get back on that train.
Well, you know where to go.
Oh, I know.
You know where to go.
Oh, yeah.
Well, man, we'll get into all that for sure. But before we get too far, man, let's get into just who Jake is and kind of give, if someone's not familiar, there's been a lot of tight ends coming in out of Ohio State. Let's go ahead and run down who Jake is, the Springboro kid, and to where you are today, man.
Yeah, I'm from a town outside Dayton, south of Dayton, Springboro. Grew up there with the fam, twin brother, 2 older sisters. Pretty normal family, just worked hard. We loved competing against each other, playing sports. Started getting a lot of attention from football, obviously, and basketball, and ended up choosing football to go down that road.
Sure.
Obviously, Ohio State. It was down between Ohio State and Michigan.
Oh, well, you got to make the right decision.
Well, Michigan actually offered first, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Oh.
So, funny
Tress.
story. Yeah, well, so what happened was it was in the middle of summer. I think it was before my junior year. I think it was before my junior year.
Yeah.
I was at home inside. My dad was mowing the grass. I got a call from my high school football coach. Hey, Michigan just offered. And at this point, I have a decent amount of offers, but no one I'm really peaked,
Yeah.
Not really interested. I was like, are you serious? He's like, oh, yeah. And he's like, well, your Coach Peterson for Ohio State was recruiting. He's a tight end coach, recruited the area. He's like, listen, he told me to keep him updated if anything happens. He's like, please let me know if Michigan offers.
Sure.
He's like, so I'm going to call him. You stay by your phone. I was like, okay. So I ran outside, got my dad, hey, Michigan just offered. And he jumped off the mower. He's like,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad's a Cincinnati kid. He played football at Xavier.
Okay.
Undefeated since 1972. Last year they had football over there. Anyway,
sure
so we were all pumped, right? Like,
sure.
Ohio State fans, obviously, but, they didn't offer yet. Everybody else was offering. Michigan offered. So I told them, we need to go look. Like, I already went up there for a passing camp. It wasn't like a recruiting deal, but saw what they had. But I was like, we need to go actually up there, talk to the coaches, see the facilities, see their pitch. Hour later, high school coach calls me, Coach Roberts. Ohio State just offered. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, the coach said, I called Coach Peterson. I told him, he's like, stay by your phone. I'll call you back in 5 minutes. So behind the scenes, Coach Peterson called Tressel.
Yeah. Said,
hey, Jake just got offered by Michigan. And Tressel was like, well, we've been waiting for this. We were going to offer him too. So he offered me. So I went out and told my dad. We were both freaking out.
Oh, hell yeah. This all the same day, right?
Same day, within probably an hour and a half.
Oh,
right?
geez.
So it's really hard to put into words the emotions. Well, that next Monday, I was in my high school football coach's office, and I had a phone call lined up with Lloyd Carr.
Yeah.
Talked to him for maybe 5-10 minutes, and really personable. You know, I enjoyed that conversation, but then talked to Tressel afterwards for probably 10-15 minutes, asking me all kinds of questions about me, what I'd like to do, all kinds of stuff. You know, normal Tressel stuff, trying to get to know this person.
Sure.
And before that, for those phone calls, my dad was like, I told him again, I was like, hey, we need to go to Michigan because we've already been to Ohio State, kind of seen that. We need to see what Michigan has to offer. And they actually wanted me as D-end, not tight end.
Okay.
Which most schools wanted me at D-end. But I want to go to Ohio State. I was like, we need to go see Michigan, Dad. And he's like, why? He's like, where do you want to go? He's like, just say where you want to go.
Yeah.
Like, Ohio State. Okay. Go to Ohio State. But then I had those phone calls. And shortly after that, I committed to Ohio State, I think, before my junior year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm interested that you said D-end instead of tight end because I feel like if you think of Carball, I mean, Harbaugh's doing it now, but if Lloyd Carr and the way that they ran their offense before Rich Rod and all those guys came in, tight ends at Michigan have always been like the backbone of their program, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit interesting. I mean, Tress was the same way too, but you did have some speedsters at Ohio State, you know, from the wide receiver side. But it was interesting that that's the way you recruit. I didn't know that, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love defense, love defensive end.
Yeah.
Most schools were looking at me D end. Every once in a while, there's a school trying to recruit me for offensive tackle, but I wrote them off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to play tackle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I already feel like I'm a tackle at Ohio State, but I didn't know that back then because we didn't throw the ball that much. Anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I love defense, and I actually was the Defensive Player of the Year in the state of Ohio for Division II. So, I mean, but I think playing defense helped me become a better tight end as far as being aggressive on the line of scrimmage and not being afraid to block D ends and really attack them. So
that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's cool to know. I didn't know that. So let's get into it, to your time at Ohio State. So we're pretty much the same age. You graduated, what, 06?
I started in 06.
06 at
Ohio State.
Yeah. Did you were you early grad or?
No, so that wasn't really that popular back then. Like
Okay.
now it's like everybody graduates in December or January and then they go straight to football. I would have loved to do that.
Sure.
But, you know, I played basketball, loved basketball. Always thought I was going to play basketball in college. I grew up watching Duke. I'm going to go play basketball at Duke.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, that's actually why Duke was in my top 5 for football schools because I was like, I'm going to walk on the basketball team. Anyway.
That's funny.
But Ohio State. Yeah, 06 to 2009. So my last game at Ohio State was the Rose Bowl in 2010.
Okay, that was Oregon. Oregon.
Yep.
I was say it was Oregon. Was
Yep.
that wasn't the who was it? Who was the star in that game? I'm trying to think.
Star as for Oregon?
Yeah.
They had LeGarrette Blount.
Yes.
Masoli was the quarterback.
Yep.
LaMichael James.
Yes. LaMichael James
is the running back who was a stud. He played in the league a while. LeGarrette played in the league a long time.
Sure.
LeGarrette won maybe 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I know he won 2 with the Patriots at least. Then he won 1 with the Eagles. But yeah, I ended up playing with him in New England. He was a good guy.
Oh yeah. For sure. Well, that's
He's
cool.
a horse. But
How
anyway,
would
you're just run.
So we've had a lot of guys on, you know, with Cardell. His experience with Urban's completely different, but a really good comparison for me too was like with Zach.
Yeah.
And his relationship with Tress. And it's funny that you talked about like the Michigan stuff too, because obviously their family is that notable fame of Justin being up there and then coming back down.
Yeah.
And what he tell us on the podcast that Bush and Blecker called his dad, like, hell no, he ain't going to friggin' Ohio State.
Yeah.
Get him up here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so,
exactly. That's what happened.
It's so it's funny, like, you know, I mean, they always obviously recruit kind of the same kind of guys, and so it was funny that, you know, you have a similar story in that regard too. So.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny, like Southwest Ohio, especially Cincinnati. There not been a lot of Ohio State fans down there. They think Cincinnati's the bread and butter of everything, whether it's the Reds, Bengals, whatever, Bearcats. Anyway, little brother syndrome. But you know, we were just outside that. I grew up watching Ohio State a little bit, and then when they won the national championship in 2002, it kind of got more on my forefront and started paying attention a little more.
Yeah.
But and to that point, you know, if you're not getting offered by them, you're like, well, who else is offering? You know, Michigan was offering. I had some SEC schools, ACC schools, but Ohio State wasn't. And then, I guess when I did talk to Tressel, he told me, listen, I know we're not early to the game when offering you, but I always stress to all my coaches, we want the best in the country.
Sure.
You know, and you were a guy we kept coming back to, and we kept trying to find someone better than you, right?
Yeah,
and that just is what it is.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
it's a business, right?
we didn't, and we also weren't going to let you get away from the state of Ohio. So that's why we came in. I was like, you know, you can understand that.
If they liked you,
I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be trying to find somebody better. All right, we like this kid. Was there any better we can get?
Yep.
That's how it is.
Oh, for sure. And then, you know, when they're not, if they like you, they don't want to play against you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
no doubt.
Yeah,
right?
so that's exactly. That's funny. That's like, you know, we talked about it a little bit, but D'Antonio, obviously being a Zanesville guy, he recruited Ohio pretty hard too.
Yeah.
And it's like you get all those boys that, and guys that, you know, could have went to Ohio State but never received an offer, and then they got that chip on their shoulder and they want to beat the hometown, you know, the hometown school. So
yeah, and D'Antonio offered me at UC when he was there, and they were on my list because I liked D'Antonio, and they offered early. But then one of their tight end coaches, named Mark something, I can't remember his name. He ended up coaching at Michigan State for a while. After I committed to Ohio State, and he was there at Ohio State for a little bit, he called me, my dad, and congratulated us. And he's like, "Listen, I totally understand. You know what I mean?" He's like, "How are you? You know, what are you supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
You can't compete." UC was still in the Big East back then.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what did you? Not that it matters at this point, but what did you come out with your star? Like, you know, the 4-star, 5-star guys.
I think I was a 4-star guy.
4-star guy.
I think I was like a top 5 in tight ends in the country. Not that any of that matters.
Yeah,
I've seen 5-star guys not do diddly.
Sure.
So
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, looking at Clemson right now.
Yeah, well, that and guys I played with who were all world coming out and didn't even ever start for Ohio State. So
for sure. Well, and you're getting in a room with nothing but 4s and 5s.
Well, everybody's good in high school.
Yeah.
You know, you're all league, all state. So is everybody else here. Like, strap on your pads and go to work.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hear it from your perspective. You know, looking at your time at Ohio State, you know, what's been. I feel like that time frame, I wasn't as focused on the football side with school and, you know, being in college myself. But like, what during that time, the 06 to 09, what was probably your best memory from that? And there's a lot of stuff that happened that time too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when Tress first said this, he seen Ohio State, they used to nickname him Big Game Tress because he really wasn't losing the big games, right?
Yeah.
And he took his first year, ended up beating Michigan. Second year, won the national championship. Then was playing these BCS games. And my first year, we went undefeated, went to the national championship. Obviously, we know how that turned out versus Urban. Mm-hmm. SOB. No, I'm just kidding. They kicked our butts.
The year after wasn't any better either.
No, then we went and played LSU. You know, when I look at those two games, the Florida game got outplayed, and you'd say outcoached too. And we were close at halftime. It was 21-14, and we were moving the ball in the first half, running it. Then the second half, we just come out and just try to start throwing it downfield. Ted Ginn was hurt.
Yep.
So we got no one stretching the field, with world-class speed, and then their DNs were killing us, and then it just got out of hand. And then LSU, I feel like there's like 4 or 5 plays that if they went our way, we should have won the LSU game. I can't say that about the Florida.
Yeah. I felt like it was doomed from the start because Ginn ran that first kickback, right?
Sprained his ankle because everybody tackled him.
So Ben might not know this one. So the star guy, Ted Ginn, he's a freaking legend. I mean,
he played one of the fastest players
ever
in the college football and NFL.
That's Ted Ginn Jr.,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So fast. I mean, he played in the league for probably 15 years. Even at the end, I played with him Cardinals, still fast. You know what I mean? But this was our go-to guy. He was probably in the Heisman contention. Obviously, Troy Smith won it. Mm-hmm. So he's our big playmaker.
Yep.
He takes the kickoff to the crib in the national championship. First play of the game.
Right out
so
the
we're
gate.
all going crazy, like insane. We're like, oh, it's starting. We're going to kick there. Well,
Go for
everything. And everybody's so excited. They tackle him in the end zone. Some people are high, people are low. Our teammates, celebrating, and his ankle, they twist his ankle
out.
One play and done. And then that really was like, oh, my gosh. Anyway, so that's what happened in that game.
Crazy.
Yeah, Ted was a good guy. I played with him. And his last year, I was a freshman when I came in, so he was a junior.
Yeah.
And then I didn't talk to him a lot. When you're a young kid, you don't talk to some of these older guys. I was just watching you. I was watching you back in high school score against Michigan, all these plays, big games like Notre Dame, the Fiesta Bowl.
Yep.
So I was quiet. And then I ended up playing with him the Cardinals in 2014. And I haven't really seen him since. So I'm like, he probably doesn't even remember me, anything like that. But first day he came in, he's like, Jake.
Yeah, man.
What's going on? Good to see you. I enjoyed watching you play. It's
That's
cool.
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
They preach the brotherhood, so it's really cool.
Oh, it is. I mean, I'll never, and we'll get to the NFL stuff. So I have the NFL stories too about the brotherhood with Ohio State and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. But so out of all that time though, what would you say was your
memorable?
Your pinnacle moment at Ohio State?
Winning the Rose Bowl my senior year, right?
You had a hell of a catch that game too.
I did. Luckily, Terrell didn't know. He was just throwing up for anybody. I was in the space anyway. It's funny if you look at that play. I actually started in the backfield, checking protection, ran out. There was like 3 Buckeyes around, and I was just there. But yeah, that's probably the biggest not takeaway. When I think about biggest moments at Ohio State, probably win the Rose Bowl, because that actually was the only bowl game I won, which is crazy to think.
For sure.
Lost 2 natties, lost to Texas in the Fiesta Bowl that we lost in the last 10 seconds of a game.
Yep.
But
that's awesome. So you were there for the 2009 Michigan game, right? You would have been there, right?
You mean the big one, 1 versus 2, 2006?
Well, that was 6 in 2009.
2009, I was there at Michigan.
So that was the at Michigan. So I would have been the 2000. No, it would have been 2010 is when they had the World War II throwbacks.
Yeah, we actually had the first throwbacks.
Yes.
Were the white ones.
Yes.
I didn't really like the World War II throwbacks.
Yeah.
Anyway. I liked ours better. Anyway, so that was the first throwback games because Tressel was so traditional. He didn't want to do that, but he let us vote in it in the beginning of training camp. We were like, yes.
Yeah, sure. Now it's a custom thing. Yeah, the 2010 game was that was Denard Robinson year.
Yeah.
That was my first Michigan game.
Oh, yeah.
I sat in 4AA.
Yeah.
I could tell you what the band had for lunch.
Yeah.
The Michigan band. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I hated every moment. Anytime they played that damn song, I was just like.
Was that game close? I can't remember that one. Did we lose
remember.
that game? No, we didn't lose.
We won.
We lost in 2011.
Yeah, 2011. That one we won. I don't remember it being close.
No, it probably wasn't.
And then after that, my last one was Olave's come-out game, the revenge tour cancellation. 18,
block punch,
18.
two touchdowns, right?
Yeah, and those both were on my end. So that wasn't close.
No.
That wasn't close.
Nope.
Awesome, man. Well, let's get into the hunting stuff, man. Or no, we still got NFL. We still got. NFL.
We can do whatever you want. We can bounce around.
I want to end it up on the NFL.
Okay, it's cool.
If you're not into football, skip ahead past the commercial. But I can't have Ohio State guys in here and not talk about football. It's Ben knows, so we joke about it. Hit him up because I know what you're going to say about me and football.
Yeah, I'm not really in. I never really watched it growing up.
Hey, I understand.
I was more into baseball.
Yeah.
But Jordan's like a Ohio State freak fanatic. So
I'm a historian.
There's lots of those guys.
Yeah.
I understand.
Millions.
Yeah.
And so he laughed. And I don't know if you've heard this on previous episodes, but Ben and I hunted together not this year, last year. No, 2 seasons ago, I guess at this point. And the Akron game was on, and we're hunting, and it's Akron. We're going to win this game.
Correct. But they scored first, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm I'm
losing your mind.
So I'm up there, and we're hunting out of our saddles, and I'm streaming the game.
Yeah.
Real quiet, as low as my phone. I'm right here next to my face, and I could almost watch it without sound. And something happens, I'm silently doing the silent fist pump and stuff. Luckily the saddle is the way we have it set up. You're hunting on the back side of the tree, so all your shots are in front.
Right.
And so the tree's kind of hiding me or whatever.
Yeah.
But
that was the night the thunderstorm came through, right? I'm pretty
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
that was fun.
Yeah.
So give Jake some background on this. So that's happened. Thunderstorm comes through. We can see the clouds. I mean, we were in a prime spot too, and we could see the clouds rolling in. I'm like, bro, we're gonna get soaked.
Yeah.
It's raining in the game. It's gonna be here before too long.
Right.
And so we're starting to get down. He puts his bow down.
I had my string on my bow, but it was still hanging there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arrow off.
Right.
Getting ready to get down.
Right.
Here comes the deer.
Yeah, because we walked into a mile. So we gotta walk a mile out in the rain.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, like a half dozen does come in. It was
of course. That's how it works every time.
Yep. And I sent one. I was like, it was not the most ideal shot. I think I was completely twisted around. But he was like, no, he's like, bro,
I can't
my
do
string,
anything. Yeah.
my string's tangled up. My bow, I don't have no quiver. I'm like, all right. Well, I was like, this is 32 yards, man. I'm gonna try it.
Right.
And I ended up I sent it right over her back.
Yeah.
I think I just misjudged it.
Yeah.
And it stuck in a tree, and we're like. I tried to pull it out and just snapped in half. Shaft. And I was like, yep, let's go.
All right, time to go.
We walked out in the rain the entire way. He's like, God damn, fuck.
I was pissed because we're climbing down, and I used his aider to get up higher on my first stick.
Yeah.
I've never climbed down with aiders before.
Yeah.
So I was upset about I couldn't get my foot in the stirrup.
Right.
So I was like, mother.
Right. Yeah.
He was pissed.
Yeah.
He was so pissed. And I'm just like, I think I had to jump down. It's a have you ever messed with aiders?
No, I have not.
So it's a am steel
rope.
Right.
Right.
It's got automotive tubing for like the step. It's
Right.
sewn in, but it's like
Right.
and so it's 2-step. It gets you basically your first true stick. When climbing stick is I don't know if you've messed with those or whatever. But
Not yet. Yeah.
he's a big guy. He it'd be a little intimidating for him to be climbing up on those sticks. But
Well, I bet I was using a climber all year this year.
Oh,
Not all
yeah.
year, but I don't know. I will say they're overrated. Anyway,
we gotta get you out of that. We'll talk about that afterwards.
Oh,
but,
I know. Yeah.
But so yeah, but I think your first stick is basically nipple high, right? Chest high, and I just jumped down. I took all my stuff off and just like and jumped down backwards, and luckily I didn't hit a tree root or anything. But he's like foot's like here, trying to get out. He's like, oh dang it.
Yeah.
Easy to climb up, but just getting down because they sit really close to the tree.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get even your toe in.
Yeah, I believe it.
Well, especially those hawk sticks that you were using.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have the tethered sticks at that point. They kind of stick away a little bit. But, yeah, it was.
And pouring down rain.
Yeah.
I'm trying to deal with it. It was
Well,
fun.
then not to mention your bow's tangled up. The deer finally show up. You can't even take a shot. So you're like, I just literally wasted this whole day. Now I'm getting rained on.
Yeah.
I can't even get out of the tree now.
Dude, it was.
Just a lot of crap.
And you know that you have a 30-minute walk back.
Right.
With 50 pounds of gear on. Camera gear and stuff. He's worried about
walk
you.
or shay. You're like,
Remember that forever, though. That
yeah,
was
you
like
do.
rough day, but
Hey, you can't kill a deer at home, right?
Yep.
You got to be out there.
No,
Yeah.
heck no. That was a
Yeah.
good experience. That was a good experience for sure. I'm bummed that you had some stuff going on. You weren't able to go this year, but and I didn't end up even applying for it. But yeah, that was a good experience. But that all ties us back to, I was streaming the game. So
Yeah.
I like to hunt.
Yeah.
I like Ohio State football way more, and I feel like that's why I started just football in general, really.
Right.
I'm not a big NFL guy, but
Yeah.
college, like Saturday college, dude, it's hard for me to most of my hunts are evening hunts, you know.
Yeah,
It's like I
right.
don't want to miss whatever, but I think that's why I started so late too. I've only been hunting really hardcore like every year, going out for about 5 or 6 years now at
Yeah.
this point. And so it's like, you know, going early 20s, whatever, man. Let's just like, you want to watch games, you want to go
Yeah.
to games, you know.
Right.
So excuse me, but let's get into, so you went 2010, you get we went, undrafted free agent, right?
Yeah, undrafted free agent. We had a couple teams calling, but I chose the Giants just because of how it fit in. But not to cut you off, do you want to do the NFL talk at the end, or you want to do hunting now? You said it.
Well, let's finish off with the NFL, and then we'll make the second half we'll take a break here.
Oh, okay. No worries. I just thought you said no.
you did say that.
You
but-
said, you said you want to do the NFL then and hunting now, but I don't care.
Either way.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to
Let's
me.
finish off with the Giants, then we'll make the other
Okay.
half. We'll make
Yeah.
the other half all
hunting?
hunting related. Yes, people can skip ahead if they want.
No worries. Yeah, 2010, I went undrafted. You know, not a lot of stats at Ohio State, so I kind of figured that was going to happen.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know, we didn't throw the ball. We had stud running backs. We had quarterbacks. At least my last 2 years were Terrell. Great player, great athlete.
Yeah.
Not the best thrower. Anyway, that's why he played receiver in the NFL.
Sure.
But I guess he does have the longest run in QB history in the NFL with the Raiders. But no, 2010 was on the Giants. Didn't play a whole lot. Was backed up to, I was probably like third string tight end.
Sure.
Up and down and off the practice squad. And it was a rough time. But, you know, just had to work through it. Kevin Boss was a great tight end to be in the room with, learn from. He played like 8 years, won a Super Bowl with the Giants. And then my next year was the lockout. So I didn't even have an off season with this team, right? I didn't have an off season really the first time either because I was still in college. So I'm excited about year 2. There's an NFL lockout. I got to go be in Columbus, you know, train in the shoe or train in the facility. And then 2011 lockout lifted right before training camp. So literally no off season. I show up. Luckily I've been studying plays and it helped being there for 1 year.
Sure.
And Kevin Boss was negotiating back and forth with the Giants about bringing him back. Then all of a sudden the Giants offered him I don't know what it was, but then the Raiders at the last second offered him double that.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
So he went to the Raiders. And I'll never forget, tight end coach came in. It was me, Bear Pasco, and Travis Beckham, who are all my brothers now. Travis Beckham from Wisconsin.
Yeah, sure.
He actually just got put in the Hall of Fame over there.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
cool
that's-
for him.
that's
He was
pretty
a stud in college. But and the coach said, hey, Boss just signed with Oakland. We're not bringing anybody in. So starting tight ends in this room. So they said that, and I remember thinking, let's go. I'm not, this is my chance. I'm not going to look back. And ended up winning the starting spot. Played all year. Won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah. Brought the hardware in for us to see it, too.
Brought the hardware. I ended up leading the league in yards per catch for tight ends that year.
Awesome, dude.
And it was really cool to finally start making plays and get the ball thrown to you. And, we actually just had our 10-year reunion last year, so it was really cool to see all those guys, Eli and Coughlin.
Oh, I'm sure.
All those Justin Tuck, all these guys, Brandon Jacobs.
I mean, that's a pretty – I mean, it started pretty much – like, a lot of people see the big flashing lights of a lot of these high-profile NFL players, but a vast majority of guys are in a similar situation that you're in.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean, they're 80% are not those guys.
Not everyone's making Patrick Mahomes money.
Not everybody's making millions of dollars.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I was in and out of the league in 4 years, and this is not for anybody to feel sorry for me. I would always tell – I was done playing football at 26, so it's not like – and I never got a big contract and I didn't get a signing bonus,
Yes.
I just tell people – when people like to ask questions, like, listen, I had a great head start at other 26-year-olds, no doubt. But there's a reason I'm still working right now,
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trade any of that. Yeah, I would have loved to sign a big contract, but if I would have done that, I would have never met my wife, who I met when I moved back here, and I'm so thankful for her, and God knew what he was doing, so I can't complain.
Oh, man, for sure. And like I said, to be that young guy, to have a Hall of Famer thrown to you, to have the ring,
right,
to have the experience in the big city as a kid from
Ohio,
exactly,
in New York City was crazy.
Oh, I'm sure. So it's that's like you said, it's a great head start in life, and it's a great opportunity to to try to make something out of it. But most of the guys don't really look practice squad. I mean, are making league minimum, and that's not enough to live the rest of your life on. By any means.
No, you can't stop working. Yeah, stop working. But,
it's fun. It's fun money, but at the same time, I mean, everyone would like to make league minimum for a few years, but then
now
real life.
Yeah, now it's like almost double what it was when I was playing. And then the new CBA, I just found out by the year 2030, if you're an undrafted free agent, league minimum's $1 million. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I missed the boat by 20 years. But no, it's a lot of great memories. I got to experience the things I only dreamed of as a kid.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and you got to beat the GOAT in the Super Bowl. How cool is that?
Well,
the Super Bowl game wasn't the coolest for you.
Yeah.
I know some stuff happened.
Yeah, I ended up blowing out my knee and ACL meniscus microfracture. And so I ended up getting hurt. It said last 7 minutes to go in the game. We're losing. We're driving. And we weren't losing by much. And I ran a route. Brandon Spikes was guarding me. I tried to shake him left. I cut right. He was behind me, pushed me forward. Quick, little twist of my ACL, tore, and the doctors didn't think it was my ACL, so they're like, well, I think it's just your meniscus. I was like, okay, tape it up. Meniscus, that's fine, I can play.
Yeah.
They tape it up and run it back and forth on the sidelines. I'm like, it does not feel normal, loose. It feels loose.
Yeah.
If you've never had one, you know what that feeling is. Just, I know it's not right.
Yep.
So they're like, all right, well, now try and stop on it, see if you can cut. Well, I tried to stop without an ACL, caused a lot more damage to my cartilage. And that's really probably what made me retire early. ACL strong. I just couldn't run or block how I used to. But anyway, I went to the locker room. So this is a Super Bowl. I got carted off the sideline, went into the locker room. There's no TVs, no radios. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Oh, jeez, man.
All I hear is like cheers. And in Super Bowl is different. No one understands. Well, if you think about it, it makes sense. There's not more fans, one or the other. It's usually high-dollar people who want to go see a Super Bowl. So they're going to be cheering regardless, like cool things that happen. And, there's fans there at the Patriots or Giants. But you don't know why they're cheering, so they're just massive cheers going on. I'm like, what the heck is happening? I got to see this. So I'm like, the doctor was with me. He's like, I'll go try and get a cart. They didn't even have any crutches because Travis Beckham actually tore his ACL in that game too. So crutches went to him. And then I tore mine and did more damage. Anyway, he's like, we got to go try and get a golf cart. So I'm like, F this. I start hopping down the hallway in my one cleat so I can see the field. And they finally give me a cart. And I'll never forget, I was in the cart looking in the field. We scored. We were up by 4, so it was 21-17. There's like 5 seconds left. I get out there and I start seeing Tom Brady about to snap the ball for the last Hail Mary throw.
Yeah.
Gets it, throws it downfield. I'm in the far end, so I'm just watching it.
Sure.
And then I see Gronk go up. I'm like, oh, my gosh, do not catch this ball. And, and then the ball hits the ground. We win. I told the golf guy driving the golf court, I was like, effing fucking fly it. So like we go in the go storm the field. I'm on a golf cart, and we just won the Super Bowl. But it was a huge display of emotion, wide range, I guess you could say for me.
Oh man, I bet
that day, not knowing how bad my knee was. We just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to feel right now?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was still, like I said, I wouldn't trade it for anything or change it for anything.
All right, everyone, we need to take a quick break from our conversation with Jake to thank our show sponsor, Toby Burdett, with Burdett Taxidermy and Legends Big Game Recovery. The whitetail hunting season has officially come to a close, with geese season still hanging in there. If you're in Ohio or the surrounding states and you want to get your late season harvest preserved, or you're like me and you're already looking ahead to spring turkeys, give Toby a call at 740-281-6435. But before we get back into the conversation, we want to thank Toby for taking the chance on us and letting us promote his businesses during this hunting season. We truly appreciate the support he's provided our show, and we've made a great friendship with him. And with that said, we're also looking for sponsorships for the spring season. So if you're interested, please email us at thepursuitpodcast@vanceoutdoors.com. Thanks, everyone. Now let's get back into the conversation. All right, well, let's change gear now. We teased it a little bit before. I could sit here and talk about football all day. So let's get into, obviously, you're quite the outdoorsman. We were talking a little bit.
I don't know if I'd say that, but I'm trying to be.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, I'm kind of curious, though. I didn't have this written down, but do you see, like, a lot of guys that are at, like, a high competitive sport level, whether it be NFL, NBA, whatever, like, do you know other guys, like, in the NFL that are into, like, the outdoors, too? I feel like it's...
Yeah, I know a handful of guys.
Like the adrenaline kind of thing?
Yeah. And I think the competitive comes into it, but also like the deep ingrained in us of being like a man, being able to hunt and provide for your family. Then once you do it, and all the emotions and the adrenaline, and if you're in a stand and you see a deer car starts coming walking your way, it's just like something you can't describe.
It's not. Yeah.
And back when I played, so I didn't grow up hunting. My dad didn't hunt, but my uncles did.
Okay.
Right, and I remember being traumatized by seeing dead deer hang outside my grandparents' house, right? Like in the backyard. And, you don't know any better. Especially if your dad's not walking you through that stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, man. You're just like, why is that deer open and bleeding?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I actually didn't get into hunting until I kind of retired. I had a good, I have a couple of good buddies to thank for kind of pushing me into that. So I retired in 2014. I started getting into hunting in 2014. Went out a couple times. We can talk about that first time anyway. But then I kind of just, I was trying to transition to a new career, build a new business. So I really just wasn't focused on it. And I didn't really get back into it until my good buddy now, Cody, really forced me out to get out there in 2020 or 2019. Yeah. And the first time we went out, first year I went out with them, rifle season, didn't get anything. Yeah. Second year went out, got 2 deer. First year, and I was like, all right, I'm hooked. I went out and bought a compound bow. Like 2 weeks after that, 4 days after that, got a deer with my compound bow. So I was in after that point.
I love it.
But
yeah, let's get in that first time. It can't be nearly as entertaining as Cardell's first time.
Well,
it might be.
It might. I mean, I don't know. I didn't hear Cardell's first time.
Oh, dude, you need to go back and check that out.
I'll check it out. Yeah. Has he taken down a deer yet?
Yeah, he's
several.
He's taken more.
Really?
Than I
Is he eating them, or he just?
Yeah,
I think he does.
He's particular about it though, because remember he was like, I usually like to give it away.
It's like he'll get summer sausage and jerky and stuff, but I think he did say he made like tacos or something with some of the ground meat.
I don't think he was eating the backstraps though. Remember he said it.
He was giving them away.
Bro, tell me about it.
I'm like, what are you? Give them to me.
No joke. Yeah, he's killed more deer than I thought he has. So he's got. He's friends with the dude that owns Scentlock, is what he said.
He is? Oh, that's who it was. Schlegel was friends with Scentlock, and that's when we went out to Missouri. But I'll have to talk to Cardale about that if he's going to be on the cruise, even though I did see he just signed with some football team somewhere anyway. But good for him.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It was really we were joking about his because he's a bow shooter, too.
Yeah.
He's a Hoyt guy. Yeah, we got him. Attaboys, I think, got him set up. But all the other stuff that he got over
he's
at the
compound,
shop.
right? Or is he,
yeah. And believe it or not, he's only like a 31-inch draw or something. I thought he was going to be like, I mean, he's got these great big long arms.
12 gauge.
Yep. Yeah, that was an interesting conversation, man. You'll have to go back and listen to that one.
I will.
Was fun. But,
my first time was 2014. I just retired, trying to get my mind off of not playing football since I've been doing it since 3rd grade. I'd got some land that I was allowed to hunt on. Signs of deer, being all over this place. And I don't know what I'm doing at this point in time. I have a bow. I don't even think they measured my draw length when I got this thing set up. So who knows if it even fits me. Went back in the day, found out where, saw where they're bedding, see where they're kind of coming in the field. So I put my blind where I thought was right and put it right where they were bedding, which was not a great idea. Anyway, so I get out in the field at I don't even know, 5 o'clock. So the sun wasn't rising until 7:30.
Sure.
So I'm out there whatever. But I'm having fun. I'm like, this is cool. And then I'm seeing just things are starting to move in the field. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But they're just dark shapes at this point. The sun's coming up. No bucks, but there's probably 6 doe in the field. They're starting to walk right at my blind. And I'm panic. I'm like, what am I going to do? And there's a big dominant doe it sees me right away and is like, there's not something's not right about this situation. Sees the blind.
That wasn't there yesterday.
Yeah, sees the blind just staring at me, starts, snorting.
Should do the old foot stomp.
Yeah, stomp.
Yeah.
Starts walking closer, and I'm thinking, at this point, I'm not an experienced hunter. I'm like, if this thing attacks me, I am going to be pissed. I've been seeing these videos of hunters getting drop kicked by deer.
Former NFL star.
Right. So, not the illegal thing to do, but I actually had my 9. I had my SIG on my side. I'm like, this thing is not attacking me. I will shoot it. It's not rifles. I can't shoot this thing with a handgun.
Yeah.
But it kept coming closer, and I was like, you know what, whatever. And this time, I don't know hunting, like I said. So, non-hunters don't realize, you just think, oh, I'm gonna wait for a big buck, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I'm not going to shoot a doe. Anyway, so I went back and forth for it felt like an hour, but it was probably only 2 minutes. All right, I'm going to take a shot.
Yeah.
As soon as I picked my bow up, drew back, she let out a big yell, and they all took off.
Yeah.
But just the adrenaline in that short 10 minutes was worth it.
It doesn't matter what it is.
But I guess not enough. I wasn't back into it until 6 years later.
Yeah.
But
yeah, being successful definitely makes it that much better for you, I think. It's cool to have those moments where you get all jacked up. I get jacked up, doesn't matter what it is, really, and to my detriment at sometimes, but yeah, you can't equate what that feeling feels like with anything else, man.
Right.
I think the closest thing I got to it was been if you were the adrenaline dump that you get if you're almost in a car accident or something almost happens real sudden, that immediate come down. That's the only thing I think I could I almost screwed up and bumped this guy at the stop sign or whatever.
Right.
I feel that's the only thing that I feel you can come down off of it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I haven't experienced anything like it. So it's addicting.
We need to get AR to try it. We won't go down that road, but
no, he would never, never.
So we don't hunt for. I would imagine she probably smelled you for sure.
Oh, yeah. At that point, I'm not worried about wind direction. I don't know any of that. So she definitely probably smelled me. And then I was in the blind, and I wasn't wearing black. I was wearing camo. So then she definitely see me moving around.
Sure.
But
it's pretty cool. We had Chris Derrick on, who's the whitetail product line manager for Sicko.
Yeah.
And we need to get Carl Miller on the scientist biologist that he was talking to at University of Georgia.
Yeah.
But he was basically saying that deer see it's almost 300, not 360, but 180 degrees. They see, instead of us kind of being locked in and having everything is kind of in vision at the same time. By no means quote me on this, but he was talking about how they can move their head and duck it and whatever to basically move you in their vision to see to get a better idea of what you are.
Yeah.
See if you move. What did he say? It was almost like the world.
The color spectrum is way different. That's how they see. That's how they perceive everything by moving their head around and getting different angles on you.
It's like the world. The world goes by them in a 360 degree.
Well, like you said, with their eyes on the side of the head, they're seeing almost 230 degrees. We can't. Yeah, like you said, I can't barely see this. We're here.
Oh, sure. So that was the whole point behind that. But it's she blows, she goes, man. You know that now, though. He knows that.
Yeah,
now.
I'm careful, and I'm always doing I'm taking showers every time I go out. Not that it matters. It's still.
They're still gonna get you.
Oh yeah.
If they want, you gotta play the wind.
Right.
There's great camo companies out there. We mentioned Sitlock and stuff. And you want to stack the cards in your favor.
Right.
Anything that you can do to kind of help better your success, I'm all for it, man.
Absolutely.
If some guy wants to brush his teeth with scent control toothpaste, God bless you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, go for it. If you feel like it's going to make you a more proficient and a better hunter, then that's your prerogative. But you can't beat the wind, man.
Right. Nope.
You can't beat the
undefeated.
wind. The wind is undefeated for sure.
Just like women.
So let's get into so 6 years passed, and you know, you're looking at 2019, 2020.
Yep.
And you're getting back out. I know. Let's go ahead and get into that and kind of, you know, that first harvest and going that.
Yeah, the first harvest ended up taking. We were up in Clarendon. He had about 140 acres up there. This group of deer came to the field, about 125 out. It was rifle season. I had my Bushmaster. Took a shot, big doe. And she just took off running across the field. I'm like, I smoked her. And she went out of sight across the field, came back in sight, started walking down, and then disappeared in the tree line. I'm like, guess I missed. Shocked. Like, we went out, tried to find blood, didn't find any blood. I'm like, I guess I didn't hit her. Anyway, then some deer came sneaking around us, ended up getting this probably little 2 to 3 year old doe, just snuck up behind us, adrenaline flowing.
Oh, yeah, man.
Then started tracking her, and like, I just love every part of the hunt, right?
Yeah.
Getting them, tracking them, finding them. And I was so thankful, my buddy, and I've never cleaned a deer before. And he's like, "Hey, here's a knife. I'll tell you how to," and you don't know what to expect. You don't know if you're going to be like sick or be like, "I'm good."
Yeah.
But no, I did it. It's easy. It doesn't affect me at all. It's just like another day. So then dragged her butt out of there. Went and found a pile of blood across the field. I was like, "Hey, we got another one." Mm-hmm. Sure enough, found this big, probably 4 or 5 year old doe.
That's awesome.
So I got 2 the first time. Took him up to Ballard's, a processor up in Fredericton, a little Amish town, and loved everything about the meat. I mean, we eat it all the time. So that was the first time, and then I was hooked. Like I said, after that, went got a compound bow, and got another one the next week. Yeah, after rifle. Yep,
that's awesome, man. Was that the Atlas that you were talking about?
Yeah, the Atlas.
The Atlas. Yeah.
I had some land across by the Hoover in Galena that I was allowed to hunt, and like we were talking about off camera, it feels like they always show up right when you're about to climb down. They show up. Well, I was in a ladder stand hunting the backside of the tree in this clearing, and there's a little old cherry tree, and I wasn't seeing any deer, but I see them there all the time. So I'm like, whatever. I'm about to climb down. Sure enough, all these deer come out. So I have to climb back up. There's no leaves on the tree, and they come a little closer. And I don't have a lot of shoot angles because all the branches hanging down. Yeah. Or a lot of windows anyway. And I'm like, all right, I picked the one I was going to shoot. She walked out. I thought she was about 55 yards. Yeah. I thought she was about probably 45 yards. Took a shot. She dropped in her stance, like right where she stood, and she dropped. And it's just the feeling, just my heart was dude. Going unbelievably fast. She dropped. The other deer went out, and I thought I kind of hit her, in the lungs. She was kind of turned a little bit away from me, quartering away from me. So I thought it went right through her lungs, hit her heart, whatever. I walk up. It hit the back of her head. Yeah. Went in the back of her head, out her nose.
No joke.
Man.
Yes.
Wow. Crazy.
That might be the craziest shot
I'll show you pictures. It was insane. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, this is nuts. And, she was obviously kicking a little bit, but, I mean, probably pretty quick for her. It was really easy to clean that deer. So I'm like, man, I just need to try and do that every time, right? Yeah. No, and I told everybody that story, like, oh, were you trying to? No, I wasn't trying to. I wish I would. Yeah, I was aiming for her head, got her at 40 yards. Yeah, no joke. I actually thought she was 45, she's 35, so the arrow was a little high. Yeah. But so that was awesome. I told Schlegel that story.
I'm sure he loved it.
Yeah, he's like, well, yeah, you went through the back of her head, her skull. That's what happened to me if I was shooting 295 feet per second. But it was nuts. I mean, yeah, it was
what's the setup look like? What broadheads were you using? Oh, here he's got the picture.
So there's coming out her nose.
Wow.
Yeah, it's right through the back of her head.
Decent little.
You'll have to send those to Jordan. I'll put them up on the video so people can see it.
Yeah, for sure.
I walked up, and this is what I walked up to. Just
wow.
Dude, the odds of hitting something like
1 in a million shot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I wish I planned that. Anyway, I was just using a fixed head, I think a 3-point fixed head,
like a Muzzy or Montec.
I honestly don't even remember. I switched to mechanicals now, but I have not been on a lot this summer or this fall with my arrow, my bow, but just haven't got anything. I haven't taken a shot at anything, so nothing's really. So once rifle season came, I knew I had to get a lot in because, like I said, me and my wife enjoy eating it. So I had to fill the freezer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that leads us to the next point too. So we talked earlier when we were doing the tour there. You got the 450 Bushmaster.
Yep, you got a 450 Bushmaster, a 350 Legend. My go-to is the 450 Bushmaster.
Sure.
So I have an uncle, or I guess cousin. Dad's cousin lives in Missouri, 140 acres out there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right outside of where's Mizzou at? Columbia, right outside Columbia.
Yeah, Columbia, yep.
Just deer central.
Oh,
I mean, it's unbelievable. 140 acres. He has 3 towers. He has tons of farm field. And he had beans there. Has a redneck blind, a shooting house, tree stands there. It's unbelievable.
Set up.
And he has cameras everywhere. And he names his deers, right? So all these bucks, he has pictures of them in this old schoolhouse on his property. Yep. So he has the ones that we're allowed to take shots at and the ones he wants to grow a little more. And it's just unbelievable.
Sounds like a whitetail guy for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's awesome. Well, out there, they don't have the straight wall crap that we have here.
Yeah.
You can literally shoot whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I need a Missouri hunting Missouri hunting gun, and I can also double as like an elk gun because I want to go elk hunting eventually. So that's when I got the 308 Precision Ruger rifle, and went out there, got a decent buck, and then also took a doe. So went out there, got those. I've taken 4, harvested 4 this year in Ohio. So I'm sitting at 6 right now.
That's awesome, man.
And I might go out one more time. I don't know yet.
That's awesome. You're going to get on. But we're, what's January 26th right now?
I got one more week. We got a week and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd like to go too, but man, life gets busier and busier as the year gets on. It's
right. Oh, it does. And luckily I don't have any kids yet. But right now, the big reason I want to do it, I had to trade my old faithful truck in. I had a nice Ford F-350 Platinum Super Duty, but the diesel's been killing me.
Oh, I feel it.
Killing me, and it was time, so I upgraded it. I got a pavement, not upgraded. I got a new truck.
Yeah.
My buddy calls it Pavement Princess out there. I got a Rocky Ridge F-150 from Rikert Ford. They took care of me down there. Love it. It's way easier on the gas tank. But anyway, it's virgin. It doesn't have any deer blood in the
it's not a real truck until you got blood. Yeah.
So I feel like I got to get that done before next year. It's a bad omen. So.
Yeah. He's the hardy guy too. Yeah. So there's the real estate agent throwing dead bucks on his Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys should have seen me. So in Missouri, I took my wife's Tahoe out there.
Love it.
So when I took them both down, I'm like, well, it's either I process them here and I have to come back and get it. I was like, you know what? I'll process them myself, but I didn't have anywhere to put them. I went to Ace Hardware, got 2 big tarps with some straps and some ratchet straps. I rolled up a tarp like a burrito and put them on top of the Tahoe and drove them back. So the antler was poking out of the tarp. I had feet hanging out the back of the tarp, and it was just the faces people would make when I'd be just driving down, and women would just be like, "Oh, like what is that?" When they hit whoever was driving, and be like, "Look at that!" And oh my gosh, dude, it was just hilarious.
Dude, that's the best.
Oh, my buddy couldn't go over that. He's dying.
That's the best.
Sending him pictures.
We had I was driving the other day, and a couple guys were. So I live. And towards Zanesville, so I'm always sitting on 70.
Yeah.
And a couple guys the other day were driving. This was probably it would have been rifle time for a lot of the western hunts.
Yeah.
And the dudes were coming back with elk skulls in the back, and it was like 2 or 3 of them in a row. I'm like, oh, these guys all went together.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome. It had the hitch. Cargo transport.
Yep.
So they had their Yeti sitting there, or the cooler or whatever sitting on there, and then it had the elk skull in the back. I'm like, that is
amazing.
Awesome.
Goals.
Mm-hmm.
That's goals.
Give it a fist bump as I'm coming by. Man, good job.
Right.
I would imagine seeing a Tahoe driving around.
Oh, it was hilarious. Oh, well, do what you got to do.
Oh, for sure.
I didn't take my truck because diesel at that time was like $650. I was like, no.
Yeah. I tell you,
He's got a diesel.
Yeah.
Bought a little Civic to get past the.
Yeah, so I bought the Civic off of my. It's like an 09. I bought it off my dad. It was my sister's during college. Her and my brother went to Wittenberg.
Yeah.
And so she's gone. He lives in D.C. now. Sister's out and doing her thing, and I'm like, this just sitting there, man. I was like, it's $650. I gotta
something.
Right. I'll take that 30 miles a gallon. My truck only gets 14.
Right.
So I'm like, for sure. But no, and then so you're hunting in Missouri. So that was the first deer kill, or was it?
This year. No, that was the first one this year. But I got more.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I took down 4, so I got 6 this year. And like I said, me and my wife love eating it. I love doing tacos. We'll do deer heart fajitas that are pretty good.
Yeah. You're a heart guy?
I think it's okay. It's not my favorite, but I think it's decent.
I tried it.
Yeah.
I tried to do like Korean barbecue style. It was a meat eater recipe actually. I have it on that cookbook, and I just couldn't get over eating heart, man.
Yeah.
It looked like it. It tasted. It was a little rubbery than meat, like real meat. But at the end of the day, my wife's like, "Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind it." I'm like, "Yeah." At the end of the day, I know I'm eating a heart though.
Yeah,
it was a little weird for me.
And I don't always take the heart out of the. Sometimes I'll leave it. So if I remember to take it, I'll take it. It's not my go-to.
Yeah.
We'll do like venison. Obviously, venison tacos, any kind of steaks.
For sure.
Venison bolognese. What did we do the other day? I can't remember.
Of course, you got to grill the back straps and tenderloins and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I'm gonna try. I got a couple. I'll go to Amazing Meats over in Johnstown. I just took the whole back straps, so I'm probably going to smoke one or two of those.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, we just love it. I eat it all the time. If I have leftover taco meat in the morning, I'll throw that in there with some eggs. So just some venison and eggs in the morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Now you're speaking our love language. We had Jen on this week, Jen Danella. I'll send you the recipe before you leave. Yeah. But I was telling you about them, those cheeseburger sliders. So my wife, Jen shared the recipe with us when we were talking with her. And I was like, hey, let's show my wife. And she's like, okay, I can get behind that. And so it was like the King's Hawaiian rolls.
Yep.
Cut them in half.
Yep.
Put your meat on there. You're using like Worcestershire sauce, garlic, onion, that kind of thing. Your typical browning.
Right.
Throw that in. Put Kraft American cheese on the top and bottom. Do your like burger sauce, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. And dude.
Yep.
I think I ate half a pack of those this week between like the first dinner.
Yeah.
I had like 4 sliders the first dinner, and then we only did half because it was just her and myself eating. The kids weren't eating it.
Yeah.
And then ran like 2 or 3 for like the leftover night, and we used white cheddar cheese for that instead of the regular American.
Right,
dude.
I mean, I'll try anything.
It's good. I'll send you that recipe for sure. It was delicious. And you did what, like the little like spin off of like patty melt?
Oh yeah. So she's got like a patty melt recipe on there, and you just brown your meat and throw it in with the cheese. And
It's
pretty good.
You could do some tomato soup action with it and stuff.
I don't doubt it. I'm slowly trying to get my family, I'll make stuff, and they love. Well, first, they're not hunters, but they'll eat some of it. They start off. I've been giving my summer sausage that I get from Ballard, which is great because they're not using fillers. It's just straight venison. Some of these shops would do pork and beef fillers and all that fat.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want a giant hot dog. This is what I want. This is venison summer sausage anyway. So they're kind of opening their mind to it a little bit. But
you said you got the smoker?
Yeah.
I'll say you're going to probably end up starting to get into the game where you're doing your own stuff now too. Smoking your own jerky and stuff.
Well, I do have a dehydrator, so I would make my own jerky. I haven't done any in the smoker yet, but I'm interested in doing it, so we'll try it out.
Yeah, we sell some of the stuff to do that, right? The summer sausage and mix. I know we do the jerky. I don't know if we got the summer sausage stuff or not.
We have casings.
The casings.
I don't think we have the curing salt and all the stuff you need, but
right.
Yeah, that's when we were talking to Scott and Seth Perkins with the Beer Butchers. You ever see them on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, we sell some of their products in the store. And,
that's cool.
And they're cool dudes. They're selling everything that you need now to make like your own stuff. Summer sausage is kind of like that gateway food if you're gonna like introduce someone into it. Like Cardell was talking to us about that too. Like his buddies.
Yeah.
Cardell's from Cleveland. Those guys aren't eating venison, and so he was talking about like giving his
those
buddies.
Guys don't like animals. They don't like dogs. They're not doing anything.
Right. And so he was like, it's like it's kind of like the gateway drug, if you will, for his buddies to.
Right.
I think that was the taco thing he was talking about. He made tacos, and they're like, "Man, this is good. What is this?" And he's like, "Oh, it's the deer that I shot."
We prefer venison tacos over beef. I mean, we love it.
Dude.
I'm telling you, eat it all the time.
Taco night's always great at the house anyway, and when you slap it with something that you killed or you provided, it makes it even that much better.
Oh, there's no question.
That's awesome. Yeah. So then that leads us into, you tagged us. I mean, we were obviously talking at that point, trying to get some stuff hooked up, but then, you shot your buck during gun season this year.
Last day of gun season, and I have a good buddy that my wife works with. His name's Mike. He has this perfect little spot over in Granville. Okay. Anyway, in between like a big 400-acre licking park nature preserve that no one can hunt in, and then he has farm fields that surround him, so their deer are just crossing back and forth. Granville's
got a ton of deer too.
It's awesome. I'm very jealous. Anyway, well, the same spot I went to the first day, I got 2 big does. They were lined up, in a row. So one shot, took them both down, and they took off running in the woods. And I know I got the one because she was bleeding bad, quick, especially for that 450. That's leaving a hole, and not quite as much as the 350. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so I'm like, I got that one. I go back there. I got a video of it. They both dropped probably 20 yards from each other in the woods. It was awesome. And then I ended up hanging them in my garage. So I live in a neighborhood. I hung them back to back because I only have one pulley system.
That's awesome.
And I always feel like a serial killer when I come back on the deer because I don't want any of my I have a ton of kids in my neighborhood. I don't want them seeing dead deer, being traumatized, and I don't need to hear anything from my freaking neighbors. So I make sure, like, lights are off, hang them, whatever. Right.
Yeah, that's funny, man. I just don't see how does that lady not just accept the fact that you're in Ohio and there's going to be a whitetail hanging in a garage?
In the garage, right. I mean, I totally agree. But, I'm trying to be considerate. I know my past traumas with deer hunting or deer hangings.
Yeah.
So, I try to be,
it's not for everyone.
Yeah. I try to be, self-aware and conceal the deer blood or whatever, deer bodies, carcasses, anyway.
Yeah.
So I got those at my buddy's place. And the last day of rifle season, my whole goal going into rifle season is like, I got to fill the freezer because I'm out. I don't have any more deer left from last year. So last day, I'm in a redneck blind, which is fantastic. It's like a
Cadillac.
I'm like, you can't even call it hunting. I don't know. It's awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's hunting, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I still get a bigger rush with a bow and a tree stand. But
100%.
So I'm not seeing anything, and this is deer paradise. I'm like, where the heck are they? It's 5 o'clock. Sun sets at 5:05 or 5:07. But I look at the tree line. It's about 60 yards from me, and I see something move. I thought it might have been a bird, but I'm still focused on there, and I see a big, pretty decent rack, high and tight, and it's moving up and down. Yeah. And this buck's just walking back and forth behind this tree line, taking his time, eating, grazing. And I'm studying it pretty well. My heart's racing a little bit. I don't have a shot at it yet. I'm like, please just come in the opening. And at this point, I'm like, man, I don't think I'm going to take a shot. He's decent, but not, there's still enough time for me to get a monster. But I wasn't going to take a shot.
Outside a rifle or outside of gun season, basically. Right. Yeah.
I wasn't going to take a shot, but then he came out, and this guy was limping bad.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. His front left shoulder looked like and if it was infected, it was swollen. It looked like a tumor was in it. And I didn't see any holes in or out from distance. So I'm like, man, this guy's not going to make it the winter. And I was like, it's fine. This will be my first Ohio buck. He's decent looking.
He's a hell of a buck.
Took him down. He disappeared into some overgrowth. Okay. Got dark. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find a blood trail. And I ran to my buddy's house. He had a little thermal scope. And he's like, hey, I'm telling you, where was he at? He's like, he's going to be in that tall stuff. I'm telling you. So I got that thing. Those are unbelievable, by the way. Just a little thermal scope. I saw the littlest of white in this huge brush pile. Walked in there. He was laying right there. That's awesome. I was very happy with him. I mean,
he's a great deer.
He's a good-looking deer. Nice little 10-point, high and tight.
Yep.
But then the thing that really pissed me, I mean, a lot of people don't understand. I know you guys probably do. I love animals. You know what I mean? And I want them to be healthy and happy. I don't want deers to get hit on the side of the road. But I hate when people take inhumane shots at deer. This deer, somebody took a head-on shot at him, went in the front of his shoulder, out the back, and you can see it's already losing hair, so it was infected. Who knows how long? That was entry. Those super small holes. So my taxidermist thinks it was a field point from a compound or a crossbow. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, it's a tiny hole. I mean, unless he was somebody might have been shooting a 22 rifle at him. Maybe it was that. But who knows how long ago? It was probably a month ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? And just terrible. Who knows how long he's been walking around.
Is that picture there, the brisket area? Is that where you're at?
Right here.
Okay, yeah.
So this is...
Oh, so you're looking
that's the front of his shoulder.
I got you.
I have him hanging in my garage right here. So this is,
gotcha.
That's the front. So
he was facing whoever shot it, and he shot him like right in the neck or like right...
head on. I mean, because it went, just like you went in the front, out the back.
Yeah. I mean, if you... It takes a skilled person to make a frontal shot for sure. Like you got to be very particular about where you're placing it.
Yeah, and I mean I'm not taking it. But it is what it is. But yeah, I felt bad for that thing, but I was happy, and it's a good one for the year.
Oh heck yeah, man! Heck yeah! And so I gotta get back to it though. So you shot him. That was 450.
That was with the 450.
You mentioned something earlier that interested me. You said the 350 actually performed maybe a little better?
No. Worse.
Worse,
really?
okay.
Well, different. All right, let's start on this. So I took Reed Fragel, another Ohio State guy. You text him a little bit. You know him a little bit.
Oh, sure, yeah.
He's a big duck hunter. Loves duck hunting. Never been deer hunting.
Yep.
So the first day of season, second day of season, I was like, we're going out. I'm going to take you to my father-in-law's. He's got 40 acres up in Cambridge.
Yeah.
Big deer country out there, too.
100%. No, there are no big deer in Cambridge.
Yeah,
okay.
no.
That's a little too close. It's a little too close to home for me.
Oh, yeah?
Right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I'm not – I already have the mindset going, I'm not shooting anything. He's taking the first shot. So he had the 350. We went out in the morning, didn't see anything. We were in the blind. I had food piles set up on Friday. All 4 food piles with corn were, like, gone by Tuesday. So they're there.
They're hammering it.
And so we went out after the morning, didn't see anything. Went out and got more corn, placed them, then went and ate lunch. So afternoon hunt, we're sitting in there. It's probably 4:40 or no, it's probably 5:15. Deer start moving. We're in a tight corridor with trees around, and there's a big opening at the top of this hill where the pile is. Sure enough, a doe comes walking out.
Yeah.
Starts eating right there, and he gets lined up in the crosshairs. And he's like, "Hey, should I take the shot?" And I was like, "Take that fucking shot."
Heck yeah.
So I got my binoculars. She takes a shot, hits her broadside, perfect shot. We're freaking out. I'm like, yes!
Oh,
They're
heck yeah.
high-fiving. He's like, this is the best feeling ever, all this
Dude,
stuff.
I'm telling you, man.
At this point, now I'm like, all right, he got his. I'm going to get mine. I was like, you stay here. I'm going to see if I can get some to jump, or I'm just going to, because where we're at, we can't see the rest of the field.
Sure.
So I'm going to sneak out the back. Maybe there's some over here. So I go walking, trying to push some, end up not seeing anything, but then I stumbled upon his deer. So I'm like, great. But I want him to have the full experience. I want you to find the blood. We're going to track it, all that stuff. Because that's part of it. It's awesome. Yep. So we come out. It's getting pretty dark. We can't find blood anywhere.
For that deer?
Anywhere.
Okay.
And I knew where it was. And honestly, I didn't think about there wasn't much blood on the deer. So luckily I saw it. I was like, listen, we can't find anything. I know where it's at. Let's go check it out. She's laying there, decent doe. Still no blood. None. And so there's an entry hole, no exit hole. Well, same thing my buddy did to me. I was like, hey, here's a knife. I'm going to talk you through it. I'll help out if you need it. And he did great.
I was hoping it was the other. I was going to pick up my phone and start texting him.
No, he did great. And I told him before he started, I was like, hey, if you get sick, I'll take over and I won't tell anybody.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
It's an experience, man.
But, I mean, so he started, opened her up. And the lung was shredded.
Was it?
It was shredded. So the 350 once it gets inside, but however, there's no blood trail. And the more I did research on it, I started hearing people say the same thing. They're shooting these deer, can't find them. But then all these deer are being found dead. Sure enough, right when we were about to leave, we drove to the house to wash our hands off, and one of his buddies was watching his house. He's like, hey, who are you? What's your name, fella? You know what I mean? I'm like, my name's Jake Ballard. This is my father-in-law's house, so-and-so. He's like, okay, I just thought somebody might be stealing from him. But he had a young kid with him. He's like, hey, I told him about the 350. I was like, we couldn't find it. We couldn't find any blood. He's like, all these kids that I'm taking hunting, same thing. They all have the 350 Legend.
Yeah.
It does damage when it's inside, but you can't find a blood trail at all. And I'm like, well, it looks like that's going to be my wife's gun, or I might just trade it in for a 450. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice round. It carries a punch. But, shoot, if you can't find it, I'm not happy with that.
Oh, no, yeah. It doesn't matter how well it performs.
The rifle performs. I mean, I'm happy. I was happy that part, but, I probably will be trying to trade it in.
Are you doing bolt action or
bolt action?
Bolt action.
Yeah, all bolt action. Yeah, my 350 is a Savage. My 450 is a Ruger.
Okay.
I was surprised.
What are you shooting out of it? What ammo are you shooting out of it?
It should be Hornady Black is my 450.
That's the right answer. Jason will appreciate that.
Of course, obviously.
Like
is there any other 450 ammo? And then the 350 was Winchester something with I can't remember.
They got the American whitetail in 350, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's
that's Hornady.
Yeah.
No, American whitetail.
Well, yeah.
But it's similar. I can't remember the exact name Winchester calls
Winchester's, is it the deer season round?
I don't remember.
Probably.
Like the XP something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I could see the box. I just can't.
Yeah, same. But I can't remember what the words are on it. But, yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe it was just a freak accident.
Sure. You can't beat how light they are, though, man.
But yeah, when we took it back to my house and hang it up, and of course, his wife wouldn't let it hang in his garage. So I think my wife's like, fine, it can be in our garage. Well, you hung it up like just pieces of the lung just were coming out the mouth. So I mean,
yeah,
it did what it needed to do.
Oh, it was dead for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, my experience with it, I just shot my first deer this season. So
yeah.
I used a 350 Legend.
Yeah.
And it dropped right there.
Oh, yeah.
But now that you said that, we walked up.
You don't remember?
No blood.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But it stone cold killed him.
Knocked her down.
Yeah.
You had that Savage too, right? Bullet action?
Yeah.
The Savage.
Yeah.
I tell you what, with that crossfire scope on it, that's the freaking ticket, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think I bought it. I bought it when it was on sale on your guys' website.
Oh, yeah.
The straight wall.
Yeah.
Scope.
No, the 350.
Oh, okay.
It was like in the spring last year is when I got it. But
that's a good rifle, man.
Oh, like I said, I'm happy with it, but that's tough. It's already hard to find them if there's not very much blood.
Yeah, you gotta.
So
it doesn't matter how good the rifle is if it's not doing what you want it to do.
Yeah.
And then it's.
But I'll tell you, in Missouri ruined me for Ohio because when I had that 308.
Yep. That's a great round.
3 of hate is like my buddy he's an ex-special forces guy. He's a sheriff now. He's like 3 of hate. I was like, why do you call that? He's like, because you ever shooting with that, you hate them because it packs a punch.
Oh, for sure.
I shot that doe. She dropped.
Done.
She was probably dead in 10 seconds. It was crazy. Same thing. When I cleaned her, put her upside down, chunks of lung coming out, entry hole, no exit hole. When I cleaned her, I ended up finding in her opposite shoulder the bullet fragment. And just the amount of the bruise from that 308.
Oh, sure.
It was this big. It ruined.
Wow. It ruined. That's the only thing about that. You're gonna be ruining quite a bit.
Well, I guess it just as long as you hit in the right spot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit her perfect, and luckily didn't ruin like the backstrap or anything. But let me see if I have a picture of.
Yeah, you start getting that congealed stuff.
That was the first time I actually processed a deer, which I don't mind it. But
sorry, I was going to ask you that. Are you hanging these up at your house while you're looking for that picture? Do you guys Are you cutting them up and processing it yourself?
I just
now?
did the Missouri deer just because of no one would take it, obviously.
But now you're taking up the Johnstown.
Yeah, I either took I took 80 pounds of the Missouri deer. I kept the back straps and a couple other things and ribs and a neck for a roast. And then I took 80 pounds of meat and turned it. I got 24 links of summer sausage because I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, dude, that's summer sausage with a saltine cracker like all day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll cook it in a pan. I'll cook in a pan. We'll eat it with eggs. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
That would sound good.
Yeah.
Where's your stuff? I didn't get any summer sausage made this year.
I didn't get anything made. I just got primals, like sub-primals. So
yeah.
I just did the roasts, and I got the bottom shanks. I'm gonna do ossobuco.
Yeah.
And we'll try that out. I haven't tried it before with deer. I've made it with other stuff, but I got the bottom shanks. I got roasts, back straps, and I think the front shoulders I got ground into ground meat.
Right.
Everything else it's all subprimal stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I wish I had it. That's what I wanted. I ended up sending mine in process. What I do? Hunted on that Monday night. I just didn't have time to do anything.
Yeah.
And it was warmer. It was warmer too.
Man, I don't think I have a picture of it. So this was the doe, and just the crazy thing about the doe was how much fat's on her back. It was like you could carve it off. But this is just before I started. It was way bigger than that. Like once I got in there and started processing it, it was literally like
that's crazy, man.
Half the lung. I mean the ribs. It was nuts.
Yeah, that 308 is definitely it's an all-purpose, not all-purpose. It's going to kill anything in North America though. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and it just hit off that back shoulder and shred and it bounced around like a ping pong. I don't even know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you're hooked now. Are you going to get into any other stuff? Or you get into the duck stuff?
I've never been. I'd go duck hunting. I don't care.
We're going to go this weekend.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well, geese. Yeah. But
yeah, I would do any of that stuff. I went turkey hunting a couple of times. I haven't got anything, so looking forward to that this spring.
I'm all right. I'm jazzed up about that.
Goals are elk. I definitely want to go out on an elk hunt, trying to get in any of the lotteries. Put in for them this spring. See if I get any.
Which states are you looking at?
Probably gonna put in for a lot of them. Whether it's Colorado, Arizona, Wyoming, Montana, wherever. I have my chiropractor, big hunter.
Okay.
He gave me all the material to like request and fill all that. I really haven't even looked into it yet.
Local guy?
Yeah, local guy.
You shot him out.
Dan Leonard, Central Ohio Spine and Joint, big elk hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
If you ever get tweaked up.
Yeah.
Dude, I could always use a nice tweak. I could always use a nice
Oh, yeah, I
crack.
haven't seen him in a couple weeks. I need to go. Actually, probably a couple months. But, yeah, so I'm going to try and do that. I really want to go down to South Africa and hunt some kudu.
That'd be fun.
There's a guy that goes on the Buckeye Cruise, Craig and Pappas. He's South African, hell of a golfer at Ohio State in the Hall of Fame. He has a ranch with some friends down there. And he told me in Schlegel at the Buckeye Cruise next year, he's like, you come down and hunt some kudu. I'm like, what's a kudu?
Yeah.
And then we looked into it, and he's like, it's so much better than venison. I'm like, well, let's see. You say that. You're a little biased. I mean, I'm sure it's great.
Yep.
I just am a little afraid of like some big cat hunting me while I'm hunting a kudu.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, I got a big bucket list. We'll see if we get all of it out.
Worst case scenario, I mean, it's always. I mean, being in Africa would be cool. I guarantee you, there's a kudu somewhere in Texas.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I want to get or the access deer down there. I want to get one of those. I mean, yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. Like Axis in Hawaii or something would be cool.
Oh, that would be awesome if only some couple counts to do that, and some of the big ones down in Texas. And
there's Taylor Chamberlain who we had on. He went to. Is it Perennial? The Perennial hunting there in Texas, and they did Access. I think he did All Dad. Access is definitely Texas. Access is on my list. It's really, I mean, in terms of like a Western, because you're going to get guided on that, right? And so I think, I mean, 2,500, 3,000 or something like that for a trophy Access deer. It's like, I mean, with your lodging and stuff. Like, I mean, obviously you have gratuity and tips and all that stuff, but at the same time, I mean, that's still a pretty fun. It's better than going to Disney World. No question. No question. Awesome.
About bear or anything? You interested in that?
I'm growing the possibility of potentially going bear hunting. I don't know. I'm weird. Deer. I mean, I don't know. I'm a big animal guy. I would go bear hunting, I guess, in the right terms. We talked a little bit off the show. I'm just hating seeing all these videos of guys running bears with 30 dogs, 15 dogs. With deer. Right before you take them down, they're just, peaceful. Like their mind's like nothing's, then all of a sudden it happens, and still hunting's very humbling. Life is precious. You recognize that, and I'm thankful when I can harvest a deer for my family, and thank God for the opportunity. And you're ending a life. Mm-hmm. So the bear, when you're running dogs, or even if you're running dogs with deer, I hate the idea they're just traumatized freaking out.
Yep.
And so that's the last thing they leave the earth. And call me a hippie, a tree hugger. It doesn't matter. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's just my view. I'm not going to judge anybody for doing it. And like you said, off the camera or off the radio, everybody has different, what'd you say?
Well, it's different cultures.
Cultures, right? And if they're used to doing that, great.
Yeah.
So I understand, and you got to do it for cats too. And if you run them with bears, great. I definitely have the people who run dogs for deer. I'm just like, get out of here.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. Figure it out.
What if you did like a baiting type situation for like black bear or something like that?
And if I would love to do it when I had like a bow, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's ultimate.
Yeah, not a rifle. If I do go, you try and do bow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's to say, Pennsylvania will give you some opportunity there.
Right.
I'm not sure where West Virginia stands on the baiting process. I know Nate, who's on our IT guy, he's been trying. I think he's going back again. Mm-hmm. Tried to get it down with, he had a 6.5 Creedmoor. Yeah. Tried to do it with that and spot and stock kind of thing, West Virginia. But you got Idaho and stuff like that where you can get them in their natural habitat. I mean, you're shooting a bear at 600, 700 yards. That, I would say that's just as equal as shooting a whitetail.
Right.
That doesn't. I mean, they have no idea. And they just feel like, and so next thing you know, they're done. And
out there too, it'd be like the blueberry fat. Possibly, like they're just grazing on blueberries all the time.
Yeah,
and you get that crazy bear fat.
Spring season. Yeah, that's spring. Well, Bo did mention though too. We had Bo Martonic on. He runs a pretty good podcast. Yeah, and he was telling us about it. Just didn't because when you hear bear hunting, you're always hearing about the rendering, the fat rendering.
Right.
And he's like, as spring bear though, I didn't really have much fat. Yeah. It was all kind of used up while they were hibernation. And, but he said you find them in those open patches. Just if you find a blueberry patch or some type of wild berry patch, they're going to be there until it's all gone.
Right.
And so that'd be cool, man. Yeah, going out west would be fun. I'm gonna try it. I've been pushing for it. Wyoming, Nebraska. I set up an account in Kansas. I set up an account in Iowa to try to get some, whitetail.
Yeah.
Out there, set up an account in South Dakota. There's just so many opportunities in South Dakota and stuff too. So I want to do mule deer.
I was going to say, you just said that, and I was like, mule deer too. I didn't say that.
Yeah, mule deer is definitely on my list for sure. For sure.
No
They're just so majestic. I mean, it's that whitetail kind of.
Right.
I think they're a little bit cooler looking than whitetails, but that's just me. Whitetails are sweet, but seeing that, like, just how massive those mule deer get.
I agree. Just a world-class mule deer with their rack. It's freaking 2 or 3 times the size of a whitetail.
They're sweet, but
kind of just like the short, chubby guys, though, like the mule deer. Like, where you get a big whitetail, like that's a stag. Look at that.
Oh thing, right? Man, for sure.
Oh, the red stag. I want to get down. Go down to New Zealand. That'd be awesome too.
Red stag stuff.
Red
stag.
Dude.
Get her done.
Yeah, let's see if I have unlimited bankroll in 10 years. Just do all this stuff.
I tell you what, with some of the people that show up on that Buckeye cruise, man, you just start bumping some right elbows.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Flash that Super Bowl ring. You know, like how many of my high state colleagues have one of these?
Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how long we're going, but I know we covered quite a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's lunchtime. We're talking about all this food. I'm ready to get going. But thanks again, man, for coming over. We appreciate it. I know, like I said, it's always fun to get these Buckeyes in. I know a lot of people are fans like myself, and it's cool to take someone that's been in a position like yourself and kind of humanize them a little bit. And, you're just a guy that's trying to – you have your first-time hunting experiences just like Ben, just like myself. And it's cool to humanize again, to say that, just to give people a better perspective of who you are.
So. Yeah, of course. Had fun. Anytime.
Sweet, man. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, everyone. That is all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed that conversation with Jake. We had a great time talking with him about his experiences, not only in football, but also in the whitetail woods. And we certainly look forward to continuing to build a great relationship with him as he grows as an outdoorsman. As always, we appreciate you listening. And until next time, enjoy the pursuit.